Welcome to Cops Uncut, the show that puts you in the driving seat of America's fight against crime. And gets you up close and personal with the mad, bad and dangerous to know that roam America's highways. Coming up on Cops Uncut, police work up a thirst pursuing a soft drink thief. Emergency services work up a sweat tackling an exploding manhole. And these expectant parents work out how evading a ticket is child's play.
God damn, the baby's coming! Shit!
Not every police pursuit ends in success. No matter how skilled the officer is around twists and turns and how experienced they are behind the wheel, there are multiple factors at play in any chase situation. The most obvious being other drivers. This officer from Dallas, Texas, has just spotted a motorist speeding. He makes a U-turn and hits the throttle, quickly building speed in an effort to catch up with the suspect. Drivers on the road make sure to stay out of his way, and on the whole, the roads are pretty clear of traffic. For the officer, this is looking to be a fairly straightforward arrest. But just as he hits his lights, another motorist, noticing the police car at full throttle, freezes like a deer in headlights. Nice roadblock, buddy. Timber! Once this officer was helped from his car, which was sent smashing into several trees, he still wasn't out of the woods and had to be taken to hospital with serious injuries. The speeding motorist escaped and probably didn't even notice how close he came to a ticket.
4131, 31. Been involved in an accident.
Welcome to Wilder, Kentucky, where police have just spotted a man wanted for a string of thefts.
Hi, how you doing?
The suspect, recently released from jail, targeted women at a cinema and health club, breaking into their cars and stealing credit cards. But those women weren't the only victims of theft. The suspect himself has clearly been robbed of his sanity because he tried to make himself inconspicuous by pulling up at a petrol station right next to a police car.
I don't know yet. I'm going to talk to this policeman here and find out.
And the police recognize him from a mugshot they took earlier.
That's the guy in the picture. I knew it wasn't Bert.
Before they can move in, he loses his cool and makes a break for it. An officer tries to stop him, but he makes it into his Mustang.
Officer needs assistance. Officer needs assistance.
As he hit the throttle, he dragged the officer who was trying to apprehend him 20 feet before running over his hand with the full weight of his car.
I'm in pursuit of that black Mustang. He just assaulted 15.
The brave officer was shaken, but his injuries were only minor. He deserves a big hand. Oh, he's already got one.
3 JFP. Black Mustang, white top.
And now his colleagues are spoiling for a fight. It's late April in Kentucky and the roads are treacherous and rain-soaked. But that doesn't stop him reaching speeds of 60 miles an hour and parting the surrounding puddles like a motorway Moses in a Mustang.
We're about 60 miles an hour. We're northbound.
Unfortunately for him, in this fable, Pharaoh's right on his tail and trying to ram him off the road with a police cruiser. The cops almost succeed, but like the biblical Moses, this guy has already had a taste of captivity, and it was no milk and honey. So he bounces off someone's fence and hops away like a frog in the rain. But before he can make it to the promised land, this guy first needs to make it through the Red Sea of illuminated puddles. He turns a sharp corner onto a one-way street and almost crashes into a passing school bus head-on. Not quite a plague of the firstborn, but close. Finally, before he can make it to freedom, the police block him in and hit him with a taser. No milk and honey for this guy, only cold, horrible prison gruel. It's fair to say that some traffic cops would never make detective. This Denton, Texas patrolman has his lines prepared, but is he any good at picking up on clues?
There, you don't need to be running 97 miles an hour.
Like that strange screaming from the back of the car.
35
Hello? Lady screaming in the back seat?
I'll do 60. Lead the way, and you wouldn't even stop.
This fucking coming.
OK, Poirot, no more clues.
God damn, the baby's coming! Shit! Hold up.
Right, now do you understand why these guys were speeding?
Where were you going, Fresby or regional? Okay, push! Oh, I got a sheet.
The pennies finally dropped. Or was that the baby?
There you go. Good thing you stopped.
Columbo's only gone and called a fire truck for backup.
He didn't come until we pulled over.
I know.
You did great.
Not much help for the baby, but at least they can hose down the back seat.
What do you need in a blanket? We need a kid.
All road users are equal, though some are more equal than others, as this clip proves. 4 wheels good, 2 wheels bad. This motorcyclist is a college football star whose season was curtailed by this smash. He was probably a little too used to coming up against opponents larger than himself. The bike was a complete write-off. And unlike his kneecaps, the pickup's license plate just needed to be screwed back on. When your sat-nav tells you to drive through the roundabout, what's a man to do? What a vicious circle. They say the longest way round is the shortest way home, and it's never been more true. Picture the scene. It's late, the fridge is empty, and you do anything for a drink. We've all been there. Welcome to Atlanta, Georgia, where the driver of this vintage Ford Torino would later tell cops he was simply out looking for a drink of water. Hot water, which he's now in.
1020, there's one occupant in the vehicle.
Because instead of a simple drive to the nearest convenience store,
1020, wrong side of the roadway.
his journey will take him careering through the city centre at dangerously high speeds.
About 75 miles an hour.
Most of the time, he just about stays in control of the car.
Driving on the wrong side of the road right here.
But understandably, the local police can't put this guy's thirst for speed
Crazy son of a bitch.
above the safety of the good citizens of Atlanta.
Pull the goddamn car over.
So, as well as pursuing him with multiple patrol cars and a helicopter, they set up some movable roadblocks to slow him down along the way. None of which seemed to work. This guy is so determined to rehydrate,
1020, 41, just right through the fence. Have the air unit stay with him.
he takes the drastic step of driving his car right into a lake.
Get on a fucking lake right now! Get on a fucking lake!
Is this really the only place to get a late-night drink in Atlanta?
Oh, go on a fucking lake! Come on!
Over to Tennessee and another thirsty felon. What is that large lump of metal kicking up sparks and being dragged behind that speeding SUV? Ah, of course, it's a soft drink dispenser. Rather than pop a quarter in the slot, this guy has decided to take the whole machine. He's going to have to give those drinks time to settle. You might be thinking he was after this machine for the money inside, but it was almost empty. Understandably, this unorthodox way of getting a can of his favourite soda is slowing down his escape somewhat. But when he downs the drink, things speed up. For 5 miles, police pursue this dangerous cokehead through the Georgia backroads. But eventually, like any good soda, he runs out of fizz and goes flat. Thirst unquenched, this guy is arrested and charged. Not with drink driving, but with driving drink. Now, the good folks of Tennessee are known to be crazy about their whiskey, but who knew they'd go this mad for a soft beverage? If the problems faced by police in Georgia are weird, take a look at this video from Orange County, California. 2 officers minding their business when, in the distance, they hear an explosion. Yeah, what was that? A car crash?
Something just exploded.
A terrorist attack? No, it was just a manhole exploding. That's right, a manhole exploding. Don't act like you see it every day of the week.
It just blew
Now, protocol in these situations is to call the fire service and stand well clear. And when the fire service arrives, you can see why. Exploding freaking manhole. The fire captain is blown 10 feet into the air and lands in the bushes, leaving a hole in the shape of a man. His colleague heads over to him to perform CPR, and the police move in to help as well. When all of a sudden, manhole exploding! At this point, police decide they have a serious problem.
I need unit code 3 here. We need all your home to shut down. We have a firefighter down.
The fire captain is pulled to safety and the roads are blocked.
1033, I need unit code 3 here. We need all your home to shut down. We have a firefighter down.
The explosions were being caused by a fault in an electricity unit below, which resulted in a power cut for the 2,000 local residents. Although the 2 firefighters were hurt and had to be taken to hospital, none of their injuries were severe. However, their eyebrows were never seen again.
I'm going to need another unit here for this.
American police cruisers are big and powerful and as wide as boats, which makes them great for pursuing criminals on America's wide, straight highways. But they're not quite so good when driven on narrow city streets, like these in Cleveland, Ohio. Our officer has just got confirmation the car in front is stolen.
266, I'm behind a stolen motor vehicle. Did you copy radio, northbound, stolen motor vehicle?
Time to bring him in.
All right, saw your lights, show's on.
But Mr. Car Thief has other ideas and bolts.
All right, we're in pursuit, northbound on West 17th. northbound 17th Street.
Taking the police the wrong way down a one-way street. Mind you, he does have a slight advantage. His car is about a metre narrower than the police cruiser on its tail. This allows him to weave nimbly through traffic, take difficult corners neatly, and even squeeze through parked cars. But you've got to hand it to these Cleveland coppers. They don't give up easily. Trapped behind a set of lights, the officers make their arrest. The car's owner will probably disapprove of that. Moments before the cops can apprehend this carjacker, though, he sees a gap and hits the throttle, escaping once again. And if those streets weren't narrow enough, the suspect takes his car into the back alleys. Let's hope no kids are on their way home from school. The streets are barely wide enough for this thief to navigate. The corners are even tighter. But the massive cruiser still manages to stay right on this little guy's tail. Until eventually he makes a mistake. Watch the dog! And with grace and elegance, the police box him in. Use the other door, mate. Of course, it helps if the criminals come to you. Which is just what happened in Burke County, North Carolina, when this gentleman drove his car right into the lobby of the county courthouse. With no sense of urgency or cause for concern, he calmly turns off his engine, leaving his hazards on to warn fellow road users, and walks back out the way he came in, smoking a cigarette. Unbelievable. Doesn't he know you can't smoke in public buildings? He turned himself in the following day. As crimes go, this surely is one of the easier ones to solve. Police in Michigan have pulled over this pickup on a routine traffic stop. At least they think it's a routine stop.
Shots fired! I don't know if a vehicle just fled eastbound.
The officer was hit in the arm by 2 rounds. Momentarily startled, and despite the wound, he drew his own gun and opened fire.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
This hardy trooper didn't even seem to notice he'd been shot twice in the arm.
I don't know if a vehicle just fled eastbound.
That same evening, the suspect was spotted by another officer driving another car. He was caught when he ran into a ditch and faces a minimum of 32 years in prison. Sometimes police have no option but to put themselves into the line of fire. This officer in Salt Lake City has just spotted a teenager in a white sedan suspected of being under the influence of alcohol, driving the wrong way down a busy highway. Tonight, she's in danger of hitting more than the bottle. The cop turns his car onto the other side of the freeway, speeds past the errant motorist,
I'm gonna flip around so I'm heading the proper way in the southbound lane. Can't stop it.
makes another U-turn and moves to intercept her, sirens on and lights flashing. She's heading straight towards him.
Salt Lake, keep head on. Salt Lake! 1050, myself, I've just been hit by that individual. 1050, blocking number 1.
The damage to both cars is severe.
Salt Lake! 1050, myself, I've just been hit by that individual. 1050, blocking number 1.
Although the officer is unhurt, the teenager's car is a write-off.
Holy shit! Salt Lake 457,
The officer radios for help and checks the driver is okay.
Salt Lake 167, if you could notify
She was taken to hospital for her injuries, where she was also hit with 7 charges, including a DUI.
Sucks, man. Brand new car. My back sore. Shit hard.
But you don't have to be travelling in the wrong direction to cause a pile-up on the freeway. The van responsible for this crash is a paratransit van. It usually ferries wheelchair-bound passengers around Dallas, Texas. So you'd think its driver would be extra careful. But not this time. Looks like he's trying to drum up some extra business. Incredibly, no one was killed in this incident. Some of the drivers suffered neck and shoulder injuries, but at least the empty paratransit van came in handy, providing wheelchairs for all. In the history of great escape attempts, this one has got to rank pretty low. This lady decides to flee the officer who has stopped her to ask about an outstanding warrant. After nearly knocking him over, her flight through the streets of Moses Lake, Washington is signalled by the huge plumes of black smoke coming from her exhaust. She's not exactly difficult to spot. Finally, she decides on the Hollywood exit, jumping out of her moving vehicle in slow motion. But instead of a heroic leap to freedom, she fumbles her exit and finds herself underneath her own truck. Thanks to onlookers and the policeman she nearly ran over moments before, this lady was saved from her own stupidity and later charged with evading a police officer. On that evidence, surely she was found not guilty. So, what have we learned today on Cops Uncut? If you're a wanted criminal with an empty tank, it's best to wait until the policemen have left the station. If you're a wanted criminal with a full tank, why not just save police the trouble and drive to the courthouse? And if you're a criminal who tries to kill a cop, you'll soon be most wanted.